Hi, my OGs, and welcome back to the Identity Issues podcast. Today is a very exciting day because I'm actually going on camera for the first time. Well, not for the first time, I am an actor. For the first time as Naomi, which is very nerve-wracking for me because, as you may know, if you've been following my podcast, I am not comfortable talking as myself in front of the camera. I have the biggest fear of speech. And that's the main reason why I started my podcast, was to overcome that fear. But I felt that it was time to take our relationship to the next level and have a conversation with you face to face, or more like screen to screen. Oh, there's a lot of noise outside. Hold on a second. I think it's done now. As I was saying, I find it so much easier being in front of the camera if I'm hiding behind a character and I have a script, but this isn't scripted at all. I know exactly what I'm gonna say, but I have a tendency to ramble on or just not get my thoughts aligned. I'm very dyslexic, so sometimes it makes sense in my mind, but when I say it out loud, it doesn't make any sense at all. But bear with me because this is my first time doing this and we are conquering this fear today. And I have some very exciting health hacks to share with you. So let's get into it. So today I want to share with you some health hacks that have completely changed the game for me in terms of lowering my cortisol levels and balancing out my hormones. Now, you may be asking, why is it important to balance out your hormones? Well, when your hormones are completely out of whack, it can wreak havoc on your fertility, your weight, your mood, your energy levels, and sleep as well, and a whole list of other things. And in general, it just plays a major role in your health and well-being. It's important to learn to balance out your hormones and cortisol levels. I have struggled so much with my health recently, and it was really affecting how I showed up in my day-to-day life. I'll put pictures up. This is quite vulnerable for me to do, and it makes me feel very uncomfortable, but I think it's so important to share. This is me extremely bloated. This is me after a sip of water or after just a normal meal. I looked about 8 months pregnant, and then this is me when I'm super stressed out and I'm just having a breakout or right before my period. My skin would just be covered in acne. I looked about 6 months pregnant, constipated, bloated, I mean TMI, but I really struggled with my physical health. And I think a major role for me was stress. I was stressed out all the time. I had high functioning anxiety, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. And I felt like I was doing everything correctly by the book when it comes to health. I was eating correctly, eating super clean. I got an adequate amount of sleep. I didn't drink. I don't smoke. I work out a lot. So I thought, where am I going wrong? Like, why am I not seeing the results when I'm being super disciplined in all these other areas? And I realized that being terribly unhappy and being super stressed out and being anxious is wreaking havoc on your body. I actually really needed to change that and learn to lead a happier and healthier lifestyle in a holistic way. And I think what prompted this decision, not only the pain that I was experiencing, but I'd been diagnosed with endometriosis, which really took over my whole life. I couldn't plan anything. I had to plan my day, plan everything around the first few days of my period, because I knew those first few days I wouldn't be able to do anything. And then recently I got a huge health scare, which was a massive wake-up call for me. So that's when I began this journey of healing my body. The reason why I'm making this video is because I know I'm not alone in this, and I know that there's so many women out there who are going through the same thing as me, and I just really want to share the 4 hacks that have helped me get to a better place. I'm still on that journey of figuring out what works well for me, but I can confidently say that I have less inflammation in my body. I'm feeling so much happier. I have way more energy, and I'm not so puffy. Like, my face looked like a rice cake every single day. It didn't matter how much I gua shat or iced my face. I just had so much inflammation. And I want to help you on your journey of healing your body in a healthy way, and just to let you know that if you're experiencing this as well, you're not alone. I'm here as well. We're gonna get through this. Just a little disclaimer before we start. I am not a health practitioner or dietitian. Dietitian, is that a word? Ooh, dyslexia, I don't know. Anyways, you get what I mean. I'm just a woman who loves doing her research and is willing to try any health hack out there so that I can lead a healthier life. And these are the 4 solid hacks that I have tried, and I've tested them, and they've been 100% solid for me. So hopefully it'll work wonders for you. Let's get into it. First one I want to share with you is learning to manage your stress levels. I am the queen of stress. I get stressed out over the smallest things on top of the really big things in my life. And I realized I was just adding unnecessary stress, and I had to learn how to manage that because I just couldn't continue being a stressed out woman all the time. And you know, it's terribly unhealthy. Not only does it affect your mental health, but it affects your physical health as well. I mean, guess where all your stomach problems come from? Apart from your diet, when you're stressed out, it massively affects your gut. So, and this is one hack that I talk about all the time on my podcast episodes if you've been listening to me for a while. The number 1 practice you should be doing is meditation. And you've probably been hearing this all the time. It works wonders in reducing your stress levels and also just connecting to yourself before you start your day. If you're new to meditation, I highly recommend you go on YouTube and you find a really good 10-minute meditation to start your day off. Now, I know it can be very overwhelming because there's a plethora of meditations. I found myself when I was first starting out, spending more time scrolling through trying to find which meditation works well for me. But I would suggest you just go with Boho Beautiful. She's amazing. And she also does incredible yoga videos as well. And she does this 10-minute morning meditation called, I think it's Start Your Day Perfectly with this 10-minute morning meditation. I don't know, I'll put it down in the link below. And that really helped me get into the flow of meditation, and also her voice is so soothing as well. She has a ton of other meditation videos that you can choose from depending on what you need that day, because some days it's different. Maybe one day you want to do a visualization meditation or a self-love meditation. So just select what works well for you. Then after a week of doing the 10-minute morning meditations, you're gonna amp up to 20 minutes in the morning. And she also does 20-minute long meditations as well. What I did is I went all in, so you could do that as well. I started with the Joe Dispenza's 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening meditations. And I'm not gonna lie, it was extremely challenging to do. The first few days, my body was so resistant to listening to his voice. But then after 21 days, I really stuck to it. No matter how I was feeling about it, I just, tried to sit with my emotions and not try to swat it away. And it has honestly changed my life, shifted my energy. My mom has even told me that I stress less about the small stuff. She's like, you don't really stress that much anymore. And I was like, well, Joe Dispenza, he's a genius. So if you want to really challenge yourself, you could get started with I think he does like a 4-week program as well of meditation. And I'm keen to try that, but I'm going to stick with my morning and evening meditations for now because they have worked wonders. And if you want to throw an extra meditation into the mix, I highly recommend his walking meditations. Oh my gosh, such a game changer, but also, again, I was very resistant to listening to his voice the first 5 days of doing it. But what I loved about the walking meditation, I'm slightly going off track here, but in terms of manifestation and visualization, it's amazing because as you're listening to it, you're stepping into the desired version that you want to become. And this is where I was going wrong with manifestation. I used to script, and I would write the things that I desired as if I already had it, and I was generating that feeling of already having what I desired. However, I wasn't embodying the person who already had whatever it is that they wanted. So with the walking meditations, it actually changes your physicality as you're walking, because you're moving and you're embodying the person who has everything that they desire, and they're so filled with gratitude because they have everything, they have abundance. Gave me a boost of endorphins, and it just became a habit. I would listen to it walking my dog in the park, and it was great because I was connecting to nature at the same time and listening to his walking meditation. So if you want an added challenge, throw in the walking meditation, but also if you don't feel like meditating one day, take a break. That's okay. Just be kind to yourself, listen to your body. And if you don't want to sit and meditate, go in a walking meditation. It might feel different for you. That's it on meditation. I feel like I said meditation about 100 times in this section of the video. But what I love about Joe Dispenza, and the things that really stood out to me, is that he says before you start your day, before you even get out of bed, you have to have that feeling that you're able to conquer the day and show up as the best version of yourself. If you don't generate that feeling, then you shouldn't be getting out of bed until you feel that, which is obviously very difficult to do, but it's changed the way I approach my days, which has been a game changer. I used to start my days feeling super anxious and just not looking forward to the day ahead. And he also went on to say that we live in a world where we're just consumed with our phones and we're just glued to it 24/7. The minute we wake up, we reach for our phone, we look at it, we kind of check the dating apps and see if anyone's messaged, or we check WhatsApp, or we check our TikTok. I like to look at TikTok sometimes. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Where you're just already answering emails, or you've got all the problems that are going on in your life running through your mind, and you're already thinking about the day ahead when you haven't taken a second to check in with yourself. Without meditating, or at least connecting to yourself or taking a second, you are starting your day in a high anxiety state, which is how I was starting my day. I cannot stress the importance of having a solid morning routine, and adding meditation as the first thing you do in the morning is the best way to start your day. And make sure you're not on your phone the first hour of your day. It makes a huge difference. And I know it's very difficult, but if you have to, get a Lumi, which is like an alarm clock, or just get a standard alarm clock and keep your phone in the next room so you're not tempted to reach for it first thing in the morning, because it is a habit. On to the next one. So this is a quick little one that I thought I'd add in. Well, it's not really quick actually. I feel like I'm gonna ramble on about this one as well. The next hack is working out. Now, we all know that there are insane health benefits to working out, and it's also known to alleviate stress. However, when you're in a stressed out state and you're doing a high intensity workout, it actually triggers your stress hormone the same way your mental stressors do, which I had no idea, because I thought that if I was doing a high intensity workout, it would help with my stress levels. But in fact, it was doing the exact opposite. And I was doing Barry's boot camp like 6 days a week, and I wasn't seeing results. I felt even worse, and that was because I was doing it when I was stressed out and not according to my cycle. So I'm going to share with you a game changer, and that is cycle syncing. Cycle syncing involves changing your diet, making some lifestyle changes, and changing the type of workouts you do according to your menstrual cycle. This is amazing for girls who have endometriosis or PCOS, so listen up to this. You can really benefit from doing this. We go into 4 phases during our cycle. So we go through our menstrual phase, we go into our follicular phase, then our ovulation phase, then our luteal phase. During your menstrual phase, you're gonna feel very sluggish, tired, and lethargic, and you're not gonna wanna be doing too much. So during that time, you'd want to change your workouts to less intense ones. say yoga, Pilates, go for a walk, and even take a break. If you don't want to work out during your period, don't push yourself, because with my period pains, there's no way I'm going to work out. But since alleviating all of my symptoms, I've been able to do Pilates, some low impact workouts and stretching, but I tend to not push it. Then we go into our follicular phase, and that's when you've gained more energy. You want to do more cardio and high intensity workouts and weight training. Actually, this is a perfect time to weight train because your body is more receptive to building more muscle mass. So you want to use that time wisely. Then we go into our ovulation phase where we're really feeling ourselves and we're feeling sexy, we're high energy, and you want to be out and about, you're more social, and you can do the berries boot camp workouts, and you can do the soul cycle, you can do the heavy weight workouts, do whatever you want. And then we go into the dreaded luteal phase, which is my least favorite phase. And that's a week leading up to your period, where you're feeling irritable, you're ravenous, your emotions are all over the place, and you're just feeling very sluggish and not hot at all. And that's when you're gonna wanna rest. So take that time to rest if you need it. If you wanna move your body, go for a nice walk, Pilates, yoga, bar exercises, whatever you want to do, just listen to what your body is telling you and don't push yourself. When I started working out according to my cycle, I actually started seeing more physical results rather than going to berries. I love berries, don't get me wrong, but I can't do it 6 days a week. But when I started cycle syncing, I noticed a huge shift. Like, I started seeing more muscle definition and I felt more confident in my body. And it helps alleviate your PCOS and endometriosis symptoms. I mean, it did for me anyways. So there's no harm in giving it a shot. I've got a little cheat sheet you can refer to if you like, but you can also do your own research. And if you'd like me to get more in depth in cycle syncing, let me know and I'll make a video about it. But use this for now. The next hack that I'm going to share with you is connect to nature whenever you have the chance to. Now, I know this is very difficult to do when you live in a big city like London and you're surrounded by concrete, but get yourself to the park. It's very easy. There's so many parks in London. I take Hazel to Hyde Park, and this is the practice that I do. When I take her on our morning walk, I find a field of grass, I take my shoes off, and I plant my bare feet on the grass. Okay, I know how that sounds. It sounds very woo-woo, and my mom actually shared this hack with me, and she shared it on a day where I was feeling very anxious. And she said, you gotta just connect to nature, go out on the grass and go barefoot and just connect to the earth. And I thought that sounds so crazy and wild, but I'll do anything at this point. Like I said, I am a guinea pig for any health hacks out there. I tried it, and the minute I did it, I felt so much calmer and at peace, and I felt energized as well. And there is a science behind it. I will get to it. But I actually did it for 2 months over the summer. Obviously, when you get into the colder months, it's a lot more challenging to do. And I actually saw another woman doing the exact same thing. So she's onto something as well. She knows the drill. Not a lot of people know this, but there are some insane health benefits to going bare feet on the grass. It reduces inflammation in the body, it lowers your cortisol level, and it improves your mood with a whole host of other health benefits. And the practice of going bare feet on the grass is actually called grounding or earthing. And there's science behind this, according to Caroline Williams, who's a grounding practitioner and director of Be Grounded. And she says that if you plant your feet on sand, grass, or soil, it allows the earth's electrons to, over time, nourish or repair cells in the body, which is mind-blowing to me. But I totally believe it, because I can confidently say by doing this for the last couple of months, I've noticed a huge shift in my energy. Whether it's this specifically or the other things I've been doing, I've noticed that this has made me feel good as well, and it's helped reduce my the pain that I feel in my body. It's helped with my mood, it's helped with my energy, and it just feels really nice connecting to the earth. Okay, I can understand that going into the colder months, it's going to be impossible to go to the park and plant your feet on the grass, and you're also going to look completely mad. So I have a great alternative for you that I actually started doing. I got myself a grounding mattress, and you can get this online. I'll add a link below, but it actually mimics the Earth's healing electrons, and I'll read out exactly what it does because I'm not going to remember all of this. How does a grounding mat work? A grounding mat is meant to replace the direct contact with the earth that we would get if we walked barefoot. In current Western culture, we seldom walk barefoot outside. The Earth's surface has a negative electric charge, and when it comes in contact with human tissue, there's an equalization. The body can take on extra electrons and build up a static electric charge. This is called the earthing hypothesis. That said, this isn't for everyone. There is a potential danger of drawing current from other sources. So be aware of unground electrical sources near you. This could cause a potentially dangerous electrical shock. So just be wary of that. I really should have read this before I filmed it on camera. But anyways, get yourself an earthing mattress because it hasn't electrocuted me yet. And you know what? It's helped me in many ways. And I'm still here. So kick your shoes off and get yourself to the park or get yourself a grounding mattress. That's all I have to say on that one. Last but not least, you are going to follow Glucose Goddess. I have such a woman crush on her. I can't even tell you. I recently discovered her on Diary of a CEO, and her name is Jessie. She's a French biochemist and best-selling author and founder of the Glucose Goddess movement. And she talks about how fixing your glucose levels can tremendously improve your health. And she says that by implementing the hacks that she talks about on her channel, you can reduce symptoms of PCOS, you can improve your skin, fertility, energy, with a whole host of other health benefits. And I 100% believe in this because I think that what we put in our body and what we eat is truly healing. I'm kind of segueing a little bit, but I went on the AIP diet, which is the anti-inflammatory protocol diet for my endometriosis. Little quick explanation on AIP. It's a short-term diet. It's not meant to be forever, thank God, because it's very difficult to do. And you eliminate certain foods for a certain amount of time. I did it for about a month, and then I started reintroducing certain foods back into my diet. For the first month, you eliminate caffeine, eggs, gluten, dairy, sugar, a whole list of other foods. Like I couldn't have certain oils and certain spices as well. No rice, no grains, nothing. I just had sweet potato pretty much all the time and roasted veg. And I did this for a month straight. And I noticed that my first period I had during this diet, all of my endometriosis symptoms were gone pretty much, which is mind-blowing to me because I was told that I had two options when I went to the gynecologist. They said, you either go on birth control, and I didn't want to go on birth control because I react so badly to it. And the second option was to get surgery, which I didn't want to do. That was my last resort. I thought, right, let's try to heal it through diet. And this diet really changed my life. And the first month I was on the strict diet, and then you can start bringing back certain foods. And I brought back egg, I brought back caffeine, and the minute I brought back caffeine, my body reacted badly to it. So it pretty much resets your whole system. And then when you start bringing back certain foods, you find what triggers you and you just avoid that food for the rest of your life. And sadly, caffeine is the one for me. I can have it once in a while, but I can't have it all the time. So I am onto the matcha lattes now. Although the AIP diet was amazing, it was very much a short-term thing, whereas Glucose Goddess shares hacks that you can do for the rest of your life. And she's helped millions of people who have diabetes, who have all kinds of health issues to really lead a happier and healthier life. And I'm gonna share these, I think it was 3-4 hacks with you that you should implement in your day-to-day life. And it's very simple to do. What I love about Glucose Goddess is that she shares hacks where you can still enjoy the foods that you love without spiking your glucose levels. And I'm gonna share with you how to do this. I'm actually gonna read it off my phone. I know that's very naughty of me, but I just wanna make sure I am saying everything correctly. So here are the ways in which Glucose Goddess says you can fix your glucose levels. So this was a very tough one for me, but is have a savory breakfast every morning. Oh, not even smoothies, because I thought that was the healthiest way of starting my day. And I have such a sweet tooth. I thought if I'm getting my sweet treat in the morning, then I won't want it throughout the day. But I realized I was actually craving it throughout the day because I would have glucose slumps. And she says in order to not spike your glucose levels, you need to have a savory breakfast. And fun fact, your body actually can't differentiate the sugar that's coming from a fruit smoothie or the sugars that are coming from a chocolate cake. So if you start your day on a sweet note, then your glucose levels are just gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be like a roller coaster all day long, and you're gonna crave more sweet treats. I sadly had to ditch my blueberry smoothies in the morning because they were spiking my glucose levels, and I noticed I was craving so much more sugar throughout the day. Once I made that small switch, I noticed that I craved less sugar, and I have such a sweet tooth. And I found that I could go a day without eating anything sweet, even just dark chocolate. I didn't really need it. And I didn't really cross my mind, which is amazing for me because I need a sweet treat every day. It says when you start your day with a glucose spike, then you're more prone to craving more sugar and starches throughout the day. The best breakfast to have is avocado and then smoked salmon. If you want some starch, you can have toast for taste afterwards, after you have the avocado salmon, because you want to coat your stomach. You don't want to have starches or sugars on its own. That is her rule. She then says to have apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before your biggest meal of the day. She also encourages us to eat more fiber and move for 10 minutes after a meal and never eat sugar or starch on its own, like I said earlier. You get the gist of it, and it made total sense when she was talking about it on Diary of a CEO. I'll actually add the link to that episode down below because it was very helpful. I think she's done 2 on his podcast, but I'll send you the most recent one that she's done. That's it for my hormone hacks. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you really enjoyed and gained a lot from this video. And if you're going through any of these tough symptoms, if you're an endometriosis or PCOS girly, I feel you tremendously. It's not fun going through all of these health issues, but just know you're not alone, and I hope these health hacks will help you on your journey to leading a healthier and happier lifestyle. I'm gonna love you and leave you, and have an amazing day. Bye.